Hello, Aaron. Could you please give an introduction about yourself?
So I run a marketing agency in the United Kingdom. I'm a student of the SMCA campus, and I've been using what Professor Dylan teaches primarily on LinkedIn and some other social media platforms to create websites, run social media, like organic social media, and do SEO for my clients. And they're primarily tradesmen within the UK. And I've been running this business for around 1.5 years now, and starting from I had no formal business education. Really, no one in my family ran any business. I didn't even know anyone who actually ran a business before, and I just completely learned from the real world how to, start my own business.
Amazing. Okay, I want to go a bit more into background. Since you said family didn't have any experience in business, why didn't you want to go down the same route as them? What made you decide to become an?
Well, I'd say a lot of it was seeing how hard my parents worked. And my parents worked very hard to give me a good upbringing. But the fact is that a lot of times the amount of hard work you do isn't necessarily correlated to how much reward you get. And it's obviously working hard on the right things. And obviously, I also saw I saw people like Tate, for example, and I saw other people who were excelling at their various fields. And I realized that, I can, if they can do it, I can too. And so it kind of just put this fire in me to at least just try, like really just try to make the business work, and just to start learning. But yeah, it was really from online influences, people around me, and I just didn't want to kind of follow the traditional route, so to speak.
Fair enough. And what were you doing before you joined the real world? What was the situation?
Well, before I joined the real world, I'm still studying now, but I was doing engineering. So I'm studying engineering at a university in the United Kingdom. And basically, I was just planning on at some point I wanted to start a business in the future, but I hadn't really cemented what I wanted to do. And the thing is, furthermore, I didn't have a plan. I really was just hoping that sometime in the future an opportunity might come up, or I might get exposed to some new, technology. And I was planning on doing it all myself. I didn't understand the importance of having a team around you, like a team of brothers who actually are working on the same thing, focusing on a goal. So before the real world, I'll be honest, I was a little bit aimless, so to speak. But I had a plan, but it wasn't really fleshed out. So yeah.
Okay, and then you joined the real world. Actually, a step before that, what led to you actually joining? Because some people might find out about it and then
Yeah.
not join for several months or not join at all. So, what was the situation?
Well, I actually found out about it probably as soon as Tate got famous. As soon as the Hustlers University stuff started coming out, that's when I started seeing, oh, there's this new university. And I was, like I said, I was always wanting to do some kind of business, but I just didn't know what. And actually, my brother came to me, my older brother, and he actually just proposed to me hey, we're both, because my brother's also doing software engineering. We're both smart guys. If we can't work this out, if we can't try and make money this way, then then why all these other guys get so much, making 10K per month for these SMMA or these other business models. So my brother initially came to me and I was like, cool, okay, yeah, let's join the real world together and let's start on this journey together and let's actively try. So yeah, it was just online exposure really, and family around me.
Okay, and then you joined. Was the social media and client acquisition the first campus you got into, or did you try other campuses?
Well, I did. In the beginning, I did try a bunch of campuses, but I didn't commit to any of them. So, for example, I tried the Business Mastery campus, but very quickly I saw the social media client acquisition was right for me, just because, I mean, in the beginning, I had no idea how to speak on camera. I wasn't a good communicator by any stretch of the imagination, and so I think the things I learned from the social media and client acquisition campus were instrumental to me being able to talk to a camera and get clients and customers from it. Because like I said, I was an engineer, maybe not the most sociable perhaps. And as a result, that makes getting clients and networking a bit harder. So I think Professor Dylan's teachings absolutely were what I needed to get clients and just generally push the business forward from my stage where I didn't know anything about how to communicate well. So yeah.
Okay. And what was it like to actually learn the skill? Did you have any experience? I'm assuming you needed video editing for a marketing agency, right? So actually
Yeah.
learning video editing, did you know anything about it before, or did you start completely new?
I knew nothing. I didn't have any skills beforehand. I started from a place where like I was a bit of a like creative. Like I used Photoshop before and I was relatively adept at doing that, but I didn't know how to make websites or anything like that. So really I just started to learn by myself. Like in the same time, like, okay, I get an initial client, I do some work for him and I learn by doing that. And it's just a process of iterating. I just got new clients. I did work for them and then learned in that way. So at the same time I was building like the revenue, I was building my skills. And so that's like in the beginning, I knew nothing. I had to learn everything. And obviously I had my brother to work with me. But yeah, I think it just kind of shows that like literally any business model that you want to try and run, you can as long as you can put in the hours to trying to learn it and trying to get good at it actually.
Mhm. Yeah. And you put in the hours, then what was it like to actually try land your first client? Was it someone you knew, or was it completely cold outreach?
It was kind of in the middle. So I started because in the social media and client acquisition, we primarily use social media to get customers. So that's DMing on various social media platforms. And I chose LinkedIn. I chose LinkedIn just because I saw a lot of my target audience was on LinkedIn. So I just made content. I kept pumping out content. And my first client was an inbound lead, actually. And this, in the beginning, actually, this was like a free client, basically. Like I didn't ask for any money. I just wanted experience in exchange for a testimonial. So I worked with them. I built their website, and they were happy with it. And then after that, they referred me to, I think, one other person. And then from there, I realized, hey, making content on social media is a way to get customers and clients, as well as DMing people on these platforms. So I used both of these things, but getting the first client was it's tough because I went into like a completely new industry, like tradesman. I'm not a tradesman by any stretch of the imagination, so I had to try and understand these guys, like make the right piece of content for them, talk in a way they would like respond and understand them as business owners. But man, yeah, it was a couple weeks of just nothing working, sending DMs, and then someone was interested. I did work with them, and then from there it was like exponential. Like the experience just allowed me to close more people, but it's just that work in the beginning that I had to get over that kind of no results in the beginning, you know. But yeah.
Mhm. So before I continue on that uh, exponential part, we'll wind back a bit. You said you made a very good point about needing to research the niche and actually understand the people you're pitching to, your services to. How did you go about actually researching that then?
Well, um, I did two ways I did this to like research my niche. First of all, I actually just went out and spoke to people. I think one thing I did was I did just a bunch of cold calls. So first, when I knew no one in this industry, I just went to businesses. Like I tried to go into their premises, tried to go to networking events, and literally just cold calling business owners. And you'd be surprised at how like receptive some business owners are to like speaking with someone who just wants to understand their problems. I was speaking on the phone with one guy for like 3 hours, and he was just telling me about the problems he has in his business. I was like, while I was speaking on the phone, I was just noting everything down because everything he was saying was gold. And that's been so helpful just speaking to people over the phone, like actual in person networking. So, like, literally just trying, like, you know, maybe you see in your local town, you've got an event where you've got some of your potential customers going to. You've got to get over that initial like social anxiety. You've got to go there and speak to people. And hey, if you're awkward, that doesn't really matter. If you have a solution to their problems, then they're going to listen to you. They're going to hear you out. And that's a great way to get a first client. But
Mhm.
yeah, on the other hand, there is social media as well. If you put yourself out there as a competent guy, then that's another way. But yeah, man, you just put yourself out there really, and just talk to people. Really, just try to talk to people, and they'll tell you everything. Really.
Amazing. So yeah, very cool idea there. And then, as I said, going back to the exponential part, so what did you do? Did you leverage your first testimonial to then land other clients? Or yeah, but what was the process there to actually start landing more and then paying clients?
So from that initial stage, I got a testimonial, of course. But from then, a lot of in my industry is kind of there's a lot of word of mouth, but as well as that, like I just continue to post content to social media. In fact, at that point, like I realized, hey, this social media content stuff, it really works. So at that point, I just like went like full like war mode with it, like posting 4 pieces of content a day, like for like I don't know, I can't remember how many months, but just in the trenches, making content. And that was the point where I started getting more and more inbound leads. So like instead of me having to do a whole bunch of like cold outbound outreach, which is important, I just made a whole bunch of content, putting my face out there. And then as well as that, like quality DMs, like I really try to research my customers and clients and like just understand their business so I could then pitch them. But man, the exponential part came when I realized, hey, this actually can work. This is a business model which can scale. Okay, let me try and like 4x my output and see where that gets me. And I just hammered it for a couple of months. And I got to a point where I had like, I had so many customers to service. I had to expand the team and just get better at like servicing customers. Like there is a point where you have to like really try and learn your skills so you can get to like a world-class level. So that's really the stage I'm in now. But it came from just like multiplying my output and realizing that this actually does work.
Mhm. And you started delegating then, right? When you had too much work to do.
Yeah.
What was the process there like to actually find people, to hire them, to potentially teach them what to do?
Well, in the beginning, the first person I hired was actually a video editor because at that point I was making a lot of social media content. I was making so much that I had to find someone to edit videos for me whilst I was doing the client servicing. So I hired a video editor and I went to, I did outsource my work to like I think it was the Philippines, but I found a really good video editor. Like I got really lucky in the beginning, but I had to go through a bunch of like people who like just unserious. Like similarly, as like apart from video editing, I had to find someone who could also offer some SEO services, so like search engine optimization. Yeah, in the beginning, you'll find people who like you'll interview them and you can tell they're not serious. Like they talk about like I don't know, like the games they play, or they talk about how like yeah, I'm just working to just have a nice day. I just want to do enjoyable stuff. Like you can tell when they're not serious, but when you find like a proper killer, like I snap them up. Like that's the kind of guy I want on my team. So luckily I found like some core team members that I can like confidently say I want to have long-term like working relationships with. But yeah, in the beginning, when you're building your team, there's obviously going to be guys who are like unserious, who maybe you'll hire them and maybe they don't put out as much work as you want them to, or maybe they just don't want to learn. I found that people who are a bit more flexible, people who actually have a bit less knowledge but are hungry, are so much more valuable because you can teach them. Like I can record a bunch of videos of me doing the task. I can tell them what a successful task like completion looks like, and they'll just be hungry and they'll go out and do it, and they don't care about the obstacles in the way. So it was just trying to find people who are hungry. That's what it is.
Okay, very cool. And then let's see some more about your personal situation. Back before you joined, you said in a way you were a bit aimless because you didn't have the guidance that you do now. So how different is your average day now compared to before you joined?
Well, that was some time ago, but I say average day. Well, okay, let's just compare to now. Like right now, I pretty much, well, I'm trying to squeeze time as best as possible. So I don't like scroll on social media. I don't waste time that I could be using working. So now I pretty much work all the time. I train every day. Well, now it's actually Ramadan, so I have to train a little bit less. But I train every day. I work every day. I don't take like days off really. Even when I'm on holiday, it's a holiday with the purpose of working. When I'm not working, it's like there's something missing. Beforehand, I was a bit more relaxed with work. I did used to work every day, but the time I spent was much less effective. Like now I'm a bit more, well, a lot more focused. I know the goal. I know that, hey, to get an extra 1K a month, I need to do X, Y, Z tasks. So I'm clear and focused on what I need to do. Before I was a little bit more like, yeah, I'll just do the work I kind of want to. Like I was putting in hours, but they weren't really like productive hours and they weren't really meaningful because I just hadn't defined the goal. And also I didn't, I wasn't taking care of like my, I wasn't actively thinking about how much time I'm wasting on my phone or how much time I'm wasting consuming random content. Like now I just produce so much more than I consume. So it's really how I spend my time and what I spend my time doing now. That's much more different than before.
Okay, amazing. And with what you're doing then, with how you're structuring your day, with building out a team, getting new clients, what has that resulted in terms of income for you so far?
Well, in terms of income, so like, yeah, but I mean, comparing it to the beginning where it was just grinding, like pretty much aimlessly. Now I consistently have clients that I just work with every month. Like I do work with them. Like give great services to them. So SEO, websites, they're all happy with it. In terms of like financial like outcomes, I'm still growing my business. Like I'm at the point where I'm around like 2K per month right now. So really, I'm just continuing to scale. But like from a day-to-day perspective, like I'll probably have a team meeting in the morning where I go over my team. I make sure they're doing the correct tasks that they actually should be doing to push the business forward. And then like I follow like Luke, for example, like he has a checklist. Like I just look at my checklist. Okay, what task do I need to get done today? And I just execute. It's really that simple. I do my work. I go to train, I go to eat, I do more work, and then I optimize my sleep. But in terms of like what that's resulted, um, yeah, it's clear. My business has grown so much more. Now I'm a lot more clear and focused on what I need to do. Things are less like there's less hesitation. When there's an idea or an opportunity, I seize it now. Before it was kind of like, oh, but what if this happens? No, like now it's like, okay, make this happen. So of course, like I'm still growing the business, but from a perspective, like so much has changed in terms of I know what I need to do to make success happen, so to speak. Yeah.
And are you still an engineering student, or have you finished? Did you drop out? What happened there?
Well, I'm still doing that. I'm actually, I treat it as a blessing right now because I'm just really learning to squeeze my time as best possible. I want to max out like literally everything. I need to get the best grade in my degree. I need a first class degree. I need to make sure I'm physically fit. I need to make sure my business is growing. Like everything needs to be on point. So that's just pushed me to like excel in every single area. So I'm not like sacrificing sleep or like my health to, for example, attain more like financial success. But like really, I'm in my situation right now. I'm still doing engineering, and that's in the long term. I do want to be doing engineering, but like right now, my business is teaching me so much about the business skills that I will need to manage a team, to like compete with other businesses, which is going to be helpful in the future when I have like a lot more means to start like an engineering company. But right now, it's really just a case of like I'm in the trenches, I'm still learning, and I'm trying to build up something that can like so I don't have to work like a normal job, for instance. I can just, actually my dad has a saying, a poor man cannot learn kung fu. So, and what that means is basically if you don't have the financial means to actually like focus day and night on like one specific thing, like your business, for example, like if you're, you have to go work a 9 to 5 and you can't really focus 100% to your business or to maybe something that you think is really important, then it's probably not going to happen. Like you can't become world class at something without like being able to fully devote yourself to it. So that's the stage I'm in right now. Just getting to a point where I can do that.
Amazing. So as an engineering student, now earning 2,000 a month online, doing whatever you want. And in the time that you finish university as well, maybe this scales even more. You say you want to be an engineer, but I guess you'll be able to do it side by side and have two sources of income. Or maybe you'll choose to scale this further. I mean, it's completely up to you, but you actually have the freedom to decide what you want to do because now you have the skill set for that. You're not fixed down one path.
I have the freedom now to, like, I know that I could even use my engineering skills to just close like an engineering client. Like beforehand, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll use my engineering skills I'll just get a job, and I know it's easy to get comfortable and just work for 20 years at a company and then retire or work at another company with a minimal salary increase. But like, I can go to a company and I can sell them on my services. Like, I know how to sell now. I'm not saying I'm the best salesman, but it's opened up like a completely new way of thinking. Like, people, when I ask someone like, hey, maybe you're going on maybe someone's going through financial difficulties and they're like, man, I don't know what to do to make rent next month or something like that. Like to me, it's obvious, just close another client, just sell some more people on your services, or just like send a bunch of direct message or call people, like try something. So like, it's just shown that like, if I lost everything right now, if I lost my business, just everything went, I know I could build it back up, because like, I know what I would need to do to go out and get new clients or to sell my skills to other people. And I think that's the great thing about the real world, is like, these skills, you don't just apply them to, you can just apply to your business, but you can apply them to like anything. Like if you make shoes, okay, you can be the best shoe salesman, and you can like learn how to make the best shoes so you can sell them to this particular customer. Like, it's just opened up a new way of thinking.
Love that. All right, so I'm happy to wrap up there with a final question. So for people who are unsure about joining the real world because they're thinking they might get scammed for $50, what advice would you have for them?
Listen. To any of you who are thinking about joining the real world, like, if you are actually serious, like if you're actually serious and first decide if you're serious or not. If you are serious about wanting to be financially free, to actually build a business that can, like ensure your family is financially secure for years to come, and like build something like great, special, and learn from like the best people, because I've networked with so many great people. If you're serious about doing that, then brother, you should join now. Because if you don't join, then you're just gonna, here's what's gonna happen. You'll not join. You'll think, oh, I can do it all myself. And then you won't have the right influencers who can actually guide you and tell you what you need to learn, and when you're actually doing something that's not useful. So my advice, bro, just join now. Try your best at it. Like if you're really serious, actually try it, and you will get results. There is no kind of like, oh, the business model, maybe it won't work. No, you can make it work if you put the time in and you actually try. But decide if you're serious or not. If you're serious, then go for it. But if you're not, then just go back to Netflix.
Fair enough. All right, so now for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where could they do so?
Yeah, so best place to contact me would be through either Real World, if you're inside, or through LinkedIn. Yeah, I've got a decently large LinkedIn profile. So if you search my name, Aaron O, on LinkedIn, I can also post my link. But you'll be able to find me, send me a message, get in touch with me. You can ask me more about my business if you want to, or you can just ask me about the real world if you want. But yeah, no, LinkedIn's the best place to find me.
Great. So we'll add that to the description of the video. And yeah, Aaron, been great speaking to you. Engineering student. How old are you? Because I didn't ask before.
I'm 22 right now.
Student, building your own social media marketing agency on the side, earning 2,000 a month already from that. So supporting your university studies. And it can grow exponentially. And yeah, it's not just the money, but also just how much your life has changed. That completely shifts the trajectory of your life as well. So thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I'm sure it inspired some people, and I wish you all the best.
Appreciate you taking the time. Yeah, it was great speaking.